Hello everyone and welcome to Math 1314 online. And my name is Terry Barnes and I'll be helping you with this quick journey through college algebra. I say quick, it is a 16-week course, so I don't guess that's too quick. So what I want to do is go through and show you the setup in Brightspace, go over the content, and help you understand the expectations of the course. So across the nav bar here, we have announcements where you'll go to do homework and test, where you can look at your Pearson gradebook. This is where you could check attendance or the Brightspace gradebook content, which we have down here. So let's kind of go here. Let's look at the instructor plan. Not going to read the whole thing. It's something you should look over for sure. But we're going to go through just a couple of things. Now, here is my email, my office phone, my office location, and I have another item that shows my office hours. We'll go over that in a minute. The required text is included with your course tuition, so it is online, and there is an e-book if you want to use it. You do need a TI 8384 graphing calculator. You really can't manage in the course without one. Now, there are some apps that you could use, and we'll talk about those as well. If we go down, course attendance and participation, this is important for financial aid issues and that sort of thing. Before the 60% point of the semester, if you have missed 25% or more of a face-to-face class or 25% in an online course, and we'll talk about how that works, you'll be withdrawn with a W. And you can request to be withdrawn before that point. After that point, the student may request to be withdrawn if you're passing or to be assigned the final grade earned at the end. So 25% in an online course is 4 weeks. And so if you have 4 weeks that you do not do any work, on the 5th week you could be dropped for going over that 25% absent. And we'll talk about that again in a little bit. Here's the calendar, but we'll see that in a minute. Grading, homework counts 30% of your total average. You can do your homework over and over again until you get 100, and that would be the goal. Just keep doing it. After 3 tries, it will generate a new question, and we'll look at the content of the homework in a minute, but you can do your homework over and over, and it counts 30%. Tests count 50%, and there will be 2 tries at every chapter test and 1 try on the final. This is important. Before each test is available, all the homework assignments must be completed for that chapter with at least a 70 on each one. So if you don't do that, your test will not open. So you got to pass the homework in order to do the test. Final exam is cumulative. It covers everything, and it will count 20% of your final average. Down here, I do have my attendance explained for this online course. It's based on participation, and so you should have activity in the course each week. A report I will run on Sundays to determine your activity the previous week. So I'm counting it for Sunday to Saturday, and then I run the report on that next Sunday. And if you didn't do anything in the previous week, that counts as an absence. You're allowed 4 such weeks before you could be dropped. And anytime you're on that inactivity report, you will get an email. All right, let me get back out of here. All right, so important student resources, you may want to visit that site, and that may have some helpful things for you. My schedule and office hours is here if you ever forget any of that. These are my face-to-face classes. These are online. And this is the rooms that I would be teaching in. My office hours are Tuesday and Thursday at 7:30 to 8 in the morning. I'm also in my office from 1 to 5 on Tuesday, and Zoom by request. All right, the calendar, let's look at that. Now, if you'll notice, this just is a suggested calendar. In other words, these things aren't due week 2. Everything is due the end of the course. So you get to kind of set your own schedule. Now, this is a suggestion for those people that may procrastinate and maybe need something to follow. So if that's you, then you may try to stay with this. I will also allude to this when I do your weekly announcement saying, okay, this week, if you're following the suggested calendar, you should do such and such. And so that's how that works. But if you have 1 week where you just get one homework question done, well, that was enough for attendance, but you didn't do what was on here. It's okay. Maybe the next week you're not going to have much to do and you could do even more. So it is up to you. You will set your own schedule. All right, the next thing in the content area says problem sets, lecture, and videos. This is the meat of the course. I have created problem sets and lecture notes and videos for every section that I cover. So if we click here and go to problem sets, let's look at chapter 1 and 2. All right, so we only do 2 things out of chapter 1, and then we cover a good bit in chapter 2. But let's go here, and this will come up. This is a PDF. If you were in class, we would be working on this as practice and prep for your homework. So if you know how to do some of this stuff, you may look at this and say, okay, I can do this, and you maybe work through it, and it's not for a grade, this is to learn from. And then the homework will be very similar to this. So this is the problem set. Now let's go look at the lecture note for that. Okay, so I've hit on lecture notes. We're going to go to the same chapter and go to 1.3. And all of this is notes that if you were in class, you would be taking these things down. And so that's just the informational part of it. Then we get down to those problem sets. And the answers are here. If there's work, there'll be work shown. I talk about this graphing tool that's online. There's some more work. And all the way down to the last one, number 12. And so some people might be fine just looking at that written work and getting it. But if not, there is a video of me going completely through that. So let's go look at that. All right, here are the lecture videos, so we will click on that. It takes you to my YouTube channel, and I have a playlist for each section for this course. So if we go here, you would come to 1.3. Here's those videos. Now, I'm going to click on one just so that you can see how that works. Let's click here. This is section 1.3. I'm going to move over to the problem set. Parentheses. Select the interval notation that's represented by the graph. Same thing. We start at 2 and go all the way to the left. That means we're going to start with negative infinity and go to 2. We have a parentheses because we do not have a bracket there. 3 is a graphing let me pause that. Question. You can see that I'm going through it, discussing it. You're not having to just decide what's happening on your own. So let's go back to the playlist. Well, let's get back there. So you would go to the videos, lecture videos, and they're all there for each chapter. Now, here's how I would suggest approaching that. Go to 1.3, get the problem set, get the lecture notes, watch the video, and then you're ready for the homework. Now, you may not need to do all of that every time, but it's all there for you. Now let's look, while we've just seen that, let's go to homework. So we go here. And all the homework is shown here, and test. And if you'll note, the due date for everything is December 11th at 6 p.m. That's when the course is going to end. All right, so you don't want to wait till then. But if you notice, there's a calculator test here. You have 90 minutes to work on it, and you have an infinite number of tries on that. So you want to keep trying on that calculator test. It's 10 questions, and if you know how to use a calculator, you might be ready to do it right off the bat. But if not, there's a lot of resources to get ready for that. But let's look at that section that we had looked at, the problem set and the lecture note. So if we go here, and there is our homework. And if we pick question 1, write the inequality in interval notation. And you may not know what that is. After going through the notes and practice, you will. But I'm just going to click in the box. If you notice when I do, I get these icons down here. They don't show up until you click in this box, because they're things that may help you with your answers. You can hit more, and you get this whole selection. So if you need the infinity symbol, if you need an ordered pair, a fraction, a exponent, absolute value, all kinds of things down here. All right, so I'm just going to put some gibberish in here, and I hit enter. So it says, no, you didn't get that right, and it may give you a suggestion. So I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to put something else in there. I'm going to put a 23 in there with it, and I'm going to hit check answer. Still wrong. And I'm going to, it says final check down here. I'm going to do that. It says, okay, here's the correct answer. This is what you put. So this is where you can see, oh yeah, now I remember that. And then you can redo it. So if you go down here, you can click on similar question right there. It gives you a similar one. Now you can try this one and hopefully get it right. If you wanted to go on and not do it right now, you can do that as well. But each question will be very similar to something we've already done. So you can see that that's there. I want to continue without checking my answer. Okay, so there's a couple of things that I do want to note here. If you want to use view an example, it's down here at the bottom. Sorry, that's not, maybe I can get that down. Let's see. There we go. Oh, that went big. Hold on. Got it back where it was supposed to be. But anyway, down here, view an example, and it will give you a different example. Now, you may not need that because I've given you that in your lecture notes. But if you've really tried everything you can think of, if you need my help, here is how I would prefer that you ask me for that. It's just going to be easier for you and me. You can click Ask My Instructor, and it comes straight to me with your specific question, because everybody gets different generated questions. And you can type in here, I tried da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and ask your question. And then you'll send that to me, and it goes straight to my email. And I get who it's from, and I can respond from that point. So if you will try as best you can, work with the resources that you have, but if you get stuck, absolutely email me and get help. Okay, let's go back to our content. Let me get out of this. Okay, so every homework will be like that. Now, when you finish 1 and 2, here's the exam for chapter 1 and 2. It says you have 2 hours to work on it, and you have 2 tries to work on it. This flag reminds you that you have to pass each homework with at least a 70. So that's a reminder. It will not open if you don't do that. Now, when you take your first try at your test, you can't go back into the homework part right here to look at your test, but you can go to the grade book, and I'll show you that. That's where you'll want to review it and see what you missed, and see maybe if you figure out how to do it, then you'll be ready when you take it the second time. So that's there, and you go all the way through doing that, and online final exam is here. You have 2.5 hours for that one with 1 try, so you really want to prepare for that one. All right, let's go back. Let's go back. All right, we are here, and handouts. There is a yellow packet. This is something you would get if you were in class. It would be handed to you. So it's got lots of information, lots of formulas, lots of how-tos, helpful hints for the calculator, special functions on the calculator, regression, matrices, chart of powers, and 5.7, just lots of stuff. You might want to just go ahead and print that whole thing because it's helpful on your homework, and it's definitely a resource you would want to use. You can have it for your test. You would have that out if you were taking a face-to-face class. So I would probably print that. All right. Now, the other handout in there, I believe, was TI Inspire. If you have a TI Inspire calculator, that may be helpful for you. It's a document I created for that. All right. Then the other thing here is calculator help. So if you don't have a calculator yet and you want to look at these phone apps, for the iPhone here, Google Play Store here, either of those are really, really good, and they'll be very helpful. They're very similar to the TI-84, so you can get the information there. All right. All right, more calculator help. If you really need help on the calculator, there are some worksheets and videos right here. So there's a calculator help video playlist here. And if you click on that, finding intercepts, finding the max or min, all of these are me working the calculator with the worksheet. Now those aren't to be turned in, that's just for you to get help. Then the other thing is that exam that I told you about. Here is a review for that calculator exam, and here's a video of me working all of the parts of that review. So that would be, and there's some other specific things on here, but mainly those are the things on the calculator. All right, the last thing in content is the final exam review, and we don't need to worry about that today, but it is right there for you. So I think that that will get you going. I am excited that you're doing this, and I look forward to working with you.